Hey, it's Erin, and this is the road to the Arnold Classic South Africa. I'm about a week and a half out, and I wanted to share my last chest workout with you. Well, my last heavy chest workout with you. A lot of times, female competitors don't train chest, and I think this is a mistake just because I don't think you should neglect any muscle group, whether you're getting on stage or whether you're just training for fun. This helps the physique tie together better aesthetically, and it also helps prevent injuries. Now, looking at it from an aesthetic point of view, a lot of us are trying to build our shoulders. So if you've got nice, round, full shoulders and sort of nothing here, it looks kind of odd on stage. So if you've got fullness here, build some fullness here too, and this is going to help make the waist look even smaller. And also, when we start to diet down, a lot of times we'll lose mass from this area first, which can create a hollow or gaunt look on stage. So a lot of the exercises today are going to be focused more on upper chest, but I don't neglect mid and decline too. So let's get this thing rolling. Let's get into this workout. Well, first let's warm up. I'm doing 2 sets of 20 Cuban press. The Cuban press is awesome for increasing mobility and just bringing blood flow to that area. It's great for shoulder health. I think anytime you're doing a shoulder day or a chest day, it's a really good idea to just go through some dynamic movements, and this is sort of like stretching through the range of motion to get you ready for heavy lifting. First heavy exercise is a high incline dumbbell press. Think anytime you're planning your workouts, whatever your main goal is, those exercises that help you reach your main goal should go first in the workout. And for me, I'm trying to build the upper chest. So here, it's just 5 sets of 8, and I'm working on that time under tension, and I'm throwing in a couple of mid-rep pauses here. And the mid-rep pause is going to help you mentally shift focus from maybe your shoulders to your chest. And a lot of times as we fatigue, our minds tend to wander and we think about just lifting with whatever muscles we have available. And the goal with muscle building is to lift with the intended muscles, especially on those last few reps when things get really tough. So for recovery in between sets, I'm taking about 45 seconds to a minute. I'm making sure I'm rotating my shoulder blades back and down. And I start with a little bit of a wider base, and then I sort of press inward, and that helps get that extra squeeze at the top of the exercise and helps work the upper chest just a little bit more. So here, again, 45 seconds to a minute. This is going to help me get my cardio while I'm lifting. And, this is something, if I can avoid doing cardio, I definitely love doing that. Second exercise is a high incline banded fly. And with both of these exercises, I've set the bench to about 60 degrees. The traditional incline bench is about 45 degrees. So as you know or might not know, the higher up the angle, the higher on the muscle it's going to train. And this goes with the dumbbells too. I'm bringing those dumbbells to about forehead height. And I love doing these with a band because as you're going mid-rep, the tension on the muscle gets tighter. Whereas if you have the dumbbells, if you're extended fully, you kind of lose all that tension because of gravity. You're no longer fighting gravity. So here you're able to maintain that constant tension on the muscle. And I try to keep my elbows flexed about the same all the way through, except for at the top. I extend just a little bit to get that extra squeeze, but I always try to keep the shoulder blades rotated back and down, and that helps keep the shoulders out of the equation. So for here, you don't want the front delts to take over. Really focus on squeezing the chest together and think about keeping that mind-muscle connection on the upper chest. So 4 sets of 10 here, 45 seconds to a minute in between each set. And that's enough time to recover, but also to keep your heart rate up. And that's the goal here. So moving on to mid-chest, and I'm not going heavy here. I've just got 25-pound plates on either side to work mid-chest. And I think it's important to not neglect any muscle group or any part of the muscle, but there's certain things you don't necessarily want to develop. And for me, I don't know, for a lot of ladies, we're not really interested in developing the mid chest, but it's a good idea to train it. So here it's 4 sets of 10, And if you think about your compound movement, it's going to burn more calories. So it's a good idea anytime that you've got a choice between a compound movement and an isolation movement to choose the compound movement just for overall calorie burn. So here, rotating the shoulder blades back and down. I'm trying to keep my elbows close to my body, trying not to break at the wrist and not using momentum at all. So my tailbone is flat on that bench and I've got my feet flat on the ground and just repping it out. With supersets and compound sets, I always look around the gym and I try to find 2 machines or 2 pieces of equipment that are close to each other. This helps me keep the recovery time in between compound sets and supersets pretty short, and it also helps me from being a hog in the gym and from losing my other piece of equipment if the gym is busy. So I'm going to run over here to this. It's a shoulder machine. I'm going to repurpose it and use it for cable flies. And here, this is working high up on the chest, but not as high as the high incline dumbbell banded flies. So here, I'm going to about chin height, and I'm keeping that constant tension on the muscle and just trying to really squeeze the chest. And I'm going to be working a little bit of the outer chest here too, which is great. So it's 4 sets of 10 for this compound set, and I'm taking about 45 seconds in between each compound set. And with the fly, I try to keep my elbows up a little bit. I try not to let them drop. And just think about hugging a barrel. So the elbows are going to have a slight bend to them throughout the exercise. You don't want to be completely straight. And you also don't want to keep your elbows really bent because this makes the exercise incredibly easy. So think about hugging a barrel, increasing the length of that lever, and that means you don't have to go as heavy. It also means you're creating more tension on the chest. So again, just the barrel. I'm going over to the cable machine and I'm going to do another compound set. Is decline cable flies, and I'm going to pair that with a decline push-up. So here I'm working the outer chest and decline chest. Again, you don't want to neglect any part of the chest, but also I'm not really interested in training my lower part of my chest. So I'm going to go pretty light here and just focus on squeezing. I'm going to hit a little bit of the biceps with this exercise too, and that's okay because I think it helps tie everything together. I have the cable set above head height, but really anything above your shoulders is fine. And for this, I'm going super lightweight. I think it's 10 or 15 pounds on each side, and I'm keeping my elbows pointed up slightly and keeping my hands in a neutral grip. And with the shoulders, I'm rotating them back and down, locking them into place. And I'm really squeezing mid-rep or at the bottom, and this is going to help give you that nice separation in the pecs. So it's going to tie your upper, mid, and lowers together. I'm going on to the next part of the compound set. It's a decline push-up, and I found a really nice high spot to do it on. And this is 4 sets of 10 to 12, but really with this exercise, you can start on a lower bench and just do as many reps as possible. So for example, it might look like 10 reps on your first set, you might get 8, you might get 6, and you might get 4. And that's okay. This is one of those great exercises for building strength. I love push-ups. I try to incorporate them into every chest workout because not only does it build your chest, it helps with core stability and it'll bring out your abs nicely. So this is a great way to get your abs in without actually having to do crunches. And with this, I keep my elbows pointed out slightly. I feel it hits higher up on the chest. That was it for this week's workout. Thanks for watching. And if you have any suggestions or questions, please post them below and I'll get to them or cover them in next time's video. You can tell I'm dieting because the words are forming in my brain, but they're not coming out of my mouth as I intend them to. So again, thanks for watching. Until next time, train hard, y'all.